Welcome to the Cricket 8 podcast. Again, I've got the Rob Barron over here.
Hello.
I've got Jack Hope from the famous cricket podcaster from the Cricket Podcast and 7 other podcasts as well. We don't need to worry about there. And myself, Jarrod Kimber. We're going to talk about the 4 teams. So the 2 games that we saw today. Let's just start with this. Rob, Dre Russell's pretty good.
Yeah, he's quite good at cricket. That is one for the notebook. Dre Russell, quite good at cricket and good at hitting the ball too. Yeah.
Without that innings, this whole game would have gone in a very, very different direction because Sunrisers probably would have just cantered home.
Yeah, it was just a battle between 2 T20 all-time greats that we watched today, and Andre did very slightly better than Klassen did. Klassen did really well, and he was... The difference is Klassen had a certain target, and Russell's target was just hit as many balls for 6 as I can, and Klassen very nearly reeled it in, but Harshit Rana had the last laugh today.
Heinrich Klaassen, we mentioned him as well. He was incredible. There was a point at which, the odds got out to, 50, 60, 70, 80 to 1, all these sorts of things. But those odds might have been double if Heinrich Klaassen wasn't there, and he got them back to favourite from that position.
I mean, that's mad, isn't it? They should have won with 2 balls to go. They were in the driving seat. He's inches from clearing short, fine leg to win the match. Doesn't quite get there. It's caught. It goes the other way. Incredible cricket and an incredible player.
Rob, everyone else has gone for, let me check, heaps. Sun on the Rhine. I mean, every year he comes up, we know he's become a defensive specialist, but that was special what he did today. He only got 1 wicket, but there was a drop catch. But he really, he does look like the difference at times for them, doesn't he?
Yeah, if you look at the bowling figures today, which conveniently I don't have in front of me, he was something like 1 for 20 from his 4, and everybody else got hooned. And Chakravarti, who... we were saying before the game, if these 2 can bowl, one of them is going to do well, you were saying. One of them did extremely well. He went for basically half the runs that Chakravarti did. If Narayan keeps that up for the tournament, and Russell does that every now and again, and they've got Rinku doing what Rinku does, they're going to win lots of games, KKR, but they're not going to win the tournament because they're mad. But they're a fantastic watch, and we have seen some wonderful cricket today. It's been a really good day's cricket.
From what you saw today, give me a quick note on each team about how you can see them projecting forward. So KKR?
KKR, I was hopeful about them. I thought they'd improve from last year. I thought it was more than a paint job, which is what I said during the live stream. And I'd hold to that. I think they were actually unlucky to win by as small a margin as they did.
Yep.
Sunrisers, on the other hand, I think this is the kind of game they needed to fluke to have a chance of making the playoffs, and they didn't. And that makes me think that what I thought before the tournament is probably right about them as well, in that they have this absolute mega gun in Heinrich Klaassen, but they haven't structured a team around him. Like, they've got Pat Cummins, who's a kind of questionable choice as an overseas captain who bowls. They've got dubious domestic batting. And one of the big differences today, their spinner isn't as good as someone like Sun on the Rhine. He's weak, and that came through.
Pat Cummins forgot his bat today, but let's move that aside for a moment. Sunrisers, how do you feel about them after today?
I think, as Jack says, they're heavily reliant on one man. And if you're going to be...
What a man!
If you're going to be heavily reliant on anyone, it's probably Klassen. But yeah, they've got lots of good overseas players, but they've structured it in a way that one of their worst ones is going to play all the time. And how does Jansen get on the park? Where's Hasaranga? What's going on? Why wasn't Markram allowed to be captain? There's loads of questions. One thing that will please them today is somehow the 2 Indian openers got 60 for none. I got them off to a rip-roaring start today. They rode their luck, but you don't get to 60 for none without the intent, and they were excellent as far as the intent and how they went about it goes, and they set that chase up. And yeah, they wouldn't have got close if it wasn't for the start, never mind what Klassen went on to do.
A fantastic game, really, really interesting. Let's move on to the other one, which was absolute trash. Punjab versus Delhi. I'm going to start with Sam Curran. Bowls 1 over, and then gets to sit on the pine essentially for the rest of the time. And we're sitting there going, okay, what's his future? Comes out the bat at number 3, and we think he's going to try and hit out, and he ends up being the anchor. He's got Player of the Match award. I don't know what to make of it though, Jack. From an analysis point of view, I've got a migraine.
I think we're slowly watching Sam Curran transition towards his ideal career, which is top order batter who occasionally bowls, and away from the career we thought he would have, which was bowler who was quite a handy number 8. And will he ever make the full transition? I don't know, but there were signs today that he is turning himself into quite a well-rounded batter. He soaked up pressure without letting the run rate get way out of control, scoring at 120 for a while, and then put his foot down. He'd like to have finished it off. It was a bit of a stupid way to get out in the final over, but he'd done the hard work by that point, and maybe he was entitled to a little slash across the line.
Another interesting innings today was the impact sub coming in quite late, and Abhishek Porel, 17.1 overs. I think he came in roughly thereabout, and he had do you know what he had? He had a positive impact, Rob.
I would say so. Yeah, the last over was 5 boundaries in a row, wasn't it?
That's positive.
And that is definitely a net plus. And it was an odd decision to just because conventional wisdom would say that that's a bit too late to bring your sub in when it's and Porel played well once last year, and the rest of the time he struggled a bit. You think, have they burnt their sub here? And it got them up to a pretty good total against Punjab, and you never know what Punjab are going to do, and we'll never know what Punjab are going to do as the tournament goes on, which is why they're a great watch and they should be a good trade because of all the volatility. But yeah, Delhi, if they're going to win some games, you've got to be beating Punjab if you want to qualify, and they ain't finishing in the top 4, Delhi.
Delhi's best chance was really Kuldeep Yadav, and he's ended up with 2 wickets for not too many runs again. Bowled really, really well. If he can take 18 to 22 wickets, that gives them a chance, because outside of Kuldeep, it's just not as strong, is it?
Absolutely not. I mean, Akshar's doing a bit. Maybe Norkia will play at some point. We don't really know. So there's rays of light if you're really grasping from a Delhi Capitals point of view. I thought in the game that Kuldeep bowled one very well, but perhaps they used him a little bit early in that second innings. They used him for a slightly lower leverage over when they could have maybe delayed him by 1 or 2 to the point where Curran and Livingston, as it was batting at the time, would have really had to attack him. They didn't need to do that. They just knocked him around 4 or 5 off the over and made hay against the backup seamers with Ishant Sharma injured.
Question for you, based on what you've seen today, Jack, which team is more likely to finish last?
Delhi.
Oh.
Yeah, I was Delhi before and I'm Delhi now.
Based on what you've seen today, Rob, how many moments of Punjab are you not going to watch?
0. 0. Punjab are a wonderful watch, and I will always love them because they are mental. Sign me up for some more Punjab, please. Inject it into my veins.
We will be doing that here at Cricket 8. We often inject things into Rob's veins, generally when he's asleep. But usually it's cricket. Sometimes it's just whatever we have around the house. Bleach occasionally. But thank you very much for following as well. We're doing the live watch-alongs all the way through this tournament. So most of the weekends we'll have covered, but there'll be other days as well. But there's also this podcast. There's Nikesh and Mega who'll also be doing a podcast. We're doing other videos and other things. Check it out on the website. Go to Facebook. Like us. Follow Jack's podcast, the Cricket Podcast. Follow Rob around his local supermarket, and we'll see you again next time.